Welcome back to World Gone Weird, folks. Buckle up because things are, well, still weird. Shocking, I know.
Indeed, the level of interconnected global instability seems to be reaching a fever pitch. There's so much going on, it feels impossible to keep track or even have a useful conversation about it.
I agree, Jesus, it can be overwhelming. But we have to try, right? Maybe if we focus on a few key themes, we can unpack some of this mess. It looks like a big topic is the proposed budget cuts to public health.
Budget cuts? Oh, joy. Where are they cutting this time? Probably the stuff that actually helps people, right?
According to reports, the Trump administration is proposing some pretty significant cuts to public health spending, like $11 billion, claiming the pandemic is over. And it seems like it isn't that simple.
11 billion? That's a massive amount of money. What's the rationale behind that? Are they just saying pandemic's over, no more need for public health?
Probably. Pandemic's over, everyone back to work, stop being lazy. That's probably the logic. Public health? Sounds like socialism to them.
Oh, come on, Jimmy, you're being too predictable. It's probably more like pandemic's over, time to build a giant golden statue of Trump fighting a measles virus. Priorities, people.
Well, sarcasm aside, the article suggests that these cuts are reducing the entire system to a shadow of what it once was. And it seems to be threatening routine work even with things like measles outbreaks already underway.
Measles outbreaks? Seriously? We're going back to the pre-vaccine era. What about herd immunity?
Herd immunity? That's just a liberal conspiracy to inject us all with microchips. Wake up, sheeple.
Microchips that give you eternal life? I mean, if the microchips are included, inject away.
The thing is, even from a purely financial perspective, these cuts seem short-sighted. Experts estimate that for every dollar spent on childhood immunizations, the country saves $11. So cutting back on that seems counterintuitive, to put it mildly.
Exactly. Prevention is always cheaper than treatment. It's like, why wouldn't you invest in preventative measures? Is this just pure ideology trumping, pun intended, common sense?
Government efficiency. That's what it is. Streamlining. Cutting the fat. You can't just throw money at problems and expect them to go away. These are tough choices, people.
Tough choices like deciding which solid gold toilet to install in Mar-a-Lago next.
No, Sarah, come on. Now the article mentions other budget cuts to federal science agencies like NIH, NSF.
Yes, and those cuts are concerning too. NIH, for example, is facing a potential 40% decrease in funding. That's a huge blow to medical research.
40%? What? Where are they getting this number from? That sounds catastrophic. That could stifle research on cancer, Alzheimer's, everything.
Maybe we're spending too much on research. I mean, how much have we actually cured lately? Seems like a lot of money for not a lot of results.
Jimmy, that's like saying we shouldn't fund fire departments because they don't stop every fire. Research is an ongoing process. It's about building knowledge, developing new technologies, and ultimately improving lives. It's an investment, not a lottery ticket.
Jesus is right, and the domino effect of these cuts could be devastating. Less research, fewer breakthroughs, fewer jobs, and ultimately a sicker, less prosperous nation. We can't afford to be short-sighted like this.
I mean, less research means we might not be able to develop the technology to build those robotic doctors that only accept Bitcoin. Think of the missed opportunities.
Look, the numbers are concerning. One report suggests that cutting $20 billion from NIH over 25 years might save $500 billion on paper, but it could end up costing $8.2 trillion in lost human health. That's not a saving, that's a disaster.
Exactly. They are playing with people's lives here. And it also sounds like the Trump admin is planning to double tariffs on steel and aluminum. What's that about?
Protecting American jobs. Bringing back manufacturing. Making America great again, one tariff at a time.
But wouldn't tariffs raise costs for consumers and businesses and potentially undermine global trade talks?
Exactly. That's the danger. It could spark a trade war, which hurts everyone. And the EU is already threatening countermeasures.
Trade war? More like a trade snore. Wake me up when they start throwing actual tomatoes at each other.
These tariffs have real-world consequences for businesses, consumers, and international relations. It's not just a game, it's a complex system with potentially damaging ripple effects.
And then there's the ruling about Venezuelans and their protected status, right? That judge blocked the Trump admin from revoking their protected status.
Protected status. So they're just letting anyone stay now. What happened to borders and laws? Where's the line?
The line is wherever Trump draws it with his Sharpie, obviously. It's an ever-shifting masterpiece of bureaucratic artistry.
Well, the legal battle is ongoing. It seems that the core argument is that the move to revoke this status may have violated legal procedures. Regardless of the final outcome, this whole situation leaves Venezuelans in legal limbo.
And that's just inhumane. These are people who have fled desperate situations, and now they're living in constant fear of deportation. What kind of message does that send to the world?
A message of strength, of enforcing the law. We can't just let everyone in. We have our own problems to deal with.
Our own problems like deciding which flavor of caviar to serve at the next state dinner? I mean, priorities.
This is all tied together, it seems. We are talking about a retreat from science, a retreat from compassion, and a retreat from international cooperation.
You're right, Jesus. It's a disturbing pattern. And this Ninth Circuit Court ruling about Trump's mass federal firings? It sounds like the Trump administration is trying to create even more chaos.
Streamlining. It's called streamlining. Getting rid of dead weight. Making government more efficient.
More efficient at writing strongly worded letters of complaint to the Department of Redundancy Department.
Regardless of the motivation, these mass firings risk disrupting vital government services and potentially leaving agencies understaffed and less effective.
It sounds like these are systematic attempts to dismantle the core institutions of our society. What is the long-term goal here?
Taking back control. Stopping the deep state. Draining the swamp.
Draining the swamp and then filling it back up with gold-plated alligators? I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
See what I mean? It's difficult to remain optimistic. These issues are interconnected and incredibly complex. It's as if the world is deliberately becoming more difficult to understand.
I think we are seeing a shift in the global order potentially, and the consequences of that, good or bad, are hard to forecast.
Well, on that cheerful note, I think we're just about out of time. Thanks for joining us on World Gone Weird, where we try to make sense of the senseless, or at least laugh a little along the way.
Remember to think critically, question everything, and stay engaged, even when it feels overwhelming.
And never lose hope. Even in the darkest of times, there's always the possibility for positive change.
And always remember, folks, if you see something, say something. Unless it's something the government doesn't want you to see, in which case, keep your mouth shut.
Until next time, stay weird.